Okay, maybe we're going to start right now ya.
Okay.
Ready? Okay. Bismillah.
Assalamualaikum
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello viewers, welcome back to IDN Weekend English Talk series, a cool sharing sessions that help us to get new insights. Isn't that right, Ira?
Yes, that is so right, Kia. But before we start, how are you guys as the viewers? I hope you guys are always in a good condition and always in a happy situation. But first of all, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Aira Anafi. I am 10th grade designer.
And I'm Kia from 10 Designer.
And we are the hosts of this week. Today at the Weekend English Talk series, we are going to talk about Inside UI, a glimpse into academic excellence.
And we have a special speaker that is Kak Farah Yasmin Budiman
From Universitas Indonesia. Hello, Kak Farah.
Halo Kak.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and before we welcome to Kak Farah, we are going to tell you what we are going to do in this Weekend English Talk.
First of all, there is opening which we already did. Next, Kak Farah will give us some really cool insight that will inspire us. Then we gonna move to Q&A session.
And plus, a little talking session between us and Kak Farah. Are you excited, Kak?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yes, because
We are excited to introduce an inspiring speaker that we call Kak Farah. Okay, so hello, Kak Farah. How do you feel today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for asking. How about you guys?
Well, we're actually doing really great too. A little bit nervous, but that's fine.
No, you don't have to be nervous.
Thank you. Then, can you introduce yourself to us and the viewers?
Okay. Assalamualaikum, everyone, to the viewers and also to the host. My name is Farah Yasmin Budiman. You guys can call me Kak Farah or Farah, however you want to pronounce it. I don't really have a specific way how to pronounce my name. I'm currently a fourth year nursing student at the University of Indonesia, as mentioned before. So I'm currently a senior, about to graduate, inshallah, this semester and get my bachelor's degree, hopefully. And I'm currently living in Cibubur right now in Legenda. So if anyone is a neighbor, you can come over and say hi. But I also do rent a place in Depok. So anytime I have to go to campus or I have anything that I need to do, like skill labs or have to go to the hospital, I do frequent in Depok as well. My hobbies, I do have a couple of hobbies, including photography. I have a photography side gig for some of my friends and also some events that I do. And I also love reading. I'm a huge bookworm. I can talk about books all the time. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I don't want to go further on.
Yeah, thank you so much for your very cool insight. I really love the way you gave us your introduction. It was really unique and all that stuff.
Okay,
So, what do you have prepared for us, or do you just want to talk with us right now?
We can have a conversation. I think it'll be more interesting that way. So it's more engaging as well instead of just me talking about myself or, giving insight.
Yeah, so is it okay if we ask you a couple of questions and other stuff?
Yes, of course.
Okay, maybe first I wanted to point out that your English is very good and wow, that is amazing. Where did you learn it?
English is actually my first language. So Indonesia, I did not grow up with Indonesian. I grew up with English as my first language. That's how I practiced it. And I maintained it throughout the years because my whole family also speaks English. So we speak English with one another. And the way I maintain it is by watching movies, videos, reading books in English. And that's how I upgrade my vocabulary and also just speak in English. But also in university, I've had the opportunity to also speak in English in classes because they offer English courses. So that further made me, I guess, practice my English even more. So
wow, that's very cool. And I think that kind of relates to me because I like to speak English at my home too. So yeah, that's very good what sharing session that we had there. So maybe we want to ask you about UI because it's one of the top universities in Indonesia, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe so.
Why did you choose UI?
I think from a very young age, I would say in middle school, a lot of people have been already talking about their dream universities and what university they wanted to go to. And I've heard a lot of people want like UI and UI this, UI that. Like it's such an amazing school. It's such a great school to attend to. There's so many majors and the programs are great and amazing. I personally wasn't really interested at first, but later on in high school when we were actually going in-depth conversations with me and my friends talking about where we were going to end up in the future, a lot of people wanted to go to university and they wanted to go to UI. So that kind of planted the seed in my mind. Okay, maybe I should check out some of their programs. And I actually really enjoyed some of the programs that they offered. And I was really interested, especially in their architecture program. But I wasn't really, I guess, somebody who really wanted it at first, but then I ended up really wanting it towards, I guess, the end of my 12th grade or senior year.
Oh my god, that's very cool. That's like very inspiring, isn't that
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah. So, do you have like any tips for us to go and move forward since we the 10th grader are going to go to 11th grader and also we're kind of preparing for college too.
Okay. Is Are all the viewers also in 10th grade or are they in 12th grade too?
Not all of them, but some of them are 11th graders.
Oh, okay. Tips. Okay. I wish somebody told me before I went into college is that I have like advice, I guess, but I wish younger me knew. But I hope hopefully that anyone in the audience or even you guys as the host can take into consideration. And it's okay to fail and face rejection because when you fail, you fail again. And as long as you keep striving and keep trying to achieve your dreams, I think you just will be unstoppable. Because, you know, feeling being rejected from your dream university or considering yourself a failure for not getting into your dream university or failing a test or something like that can really beat you down or make you feel low and a lot of the times, right? And it will eventually kind of affect your mindset. And I think having a mindset or a positive mindset all the time and having hope that you can achieve your dreams is something that I can give just a little inkling for you guys because you guys are still young. So that's like one something I could give you guys. Another thing is it's okay again to have a rejection from your university because that's only a redirection from a lot to give us like maybe that's not our path or that maybe that's not our career or that's something that's made for us. And I personally have felt that because I wanted to be in architecture. I wanted to go to architecture school, as I mentioned a little before, at UI, but I didn't get into architecture school. I became a nurse, or I'm in nursing school now. And I feel like comparing the different cultures between the faculties or even the majors is so distinct and so clear to me as a young Muslim woman that I probably would not have survived in if I had gone to architecture school, or I probably wouldn't have been wearing my hijab as long, or I wouldn't have been able to keep my faith as close and dear to my heart. So that's another thing. Uh, Something that I could give you, another tip. I think starting, especially you guys are in 10th grade or in 11th grade, reflecting about what you want to do and having a plan B for the future is also very important. I think because I took a gap year because I wanted to pursue architecture. It was like a big dream of mine. It was something that I really wanted to achieve, but I didn't really have a backup plan if I did not end up getting into architecture school. So I think reflecting and just thinking what are qualities or characteristics that I have that will translate well into the major that I want to. is this dream achievable? I think any dream is achievable if you put your mind to it and you put in the hard work, but is it achievable to you? And another thing I can tell you is probably, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, but I think just moving forward and never giving up is an important aspect to have. And just, I highly recommend for people to take a gap year. If you have the opportunity or if you have the chance to take a gap year, I think it's really a nice experience to have. Because I had my gap year during COVID or during quarantine time where everyone was always inside the house. So I didn't go out and I wanted to travel. I wanted to experience a lot of things. I wanted to intern during my gap year, but I didn't have that opportunity. So I think even in my gap year, I have found so many things in self-reflection and so have found my voice that translated into my new adult years. I think taking a gap year is such a great experience and a great thing. And I want to help people to kind of destigmatize that, oh, gap years are going to set you back. You know, you're not going to be successful or everyone else is going, you know, super fast. I think everyone has a different career path and everyone has a different journey. So you don't have to worry about, oh, you know, they're ahead of me or, oh, they got into college first and I'm not in college yet. I think that self-reflection in that moment of having that for yourself is a great thing to have. So that's just a little bit. Hopefully that could help with your tips.
Yeah, those are very, very good tips. Yeah, we like those tips on not giving up and other stuff because, yeah, what's the point of giving up? Actually, it's not going to get you anywhere, right?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you guys.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry. Can you hear us now? Wait. Hello?
No.
Sorry, hello? Aduh, gimana nih? Can you hear us
Hello?
now? Hello? Hello? Gimana?
It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes these things can have problems. I understand.
Hello, can you hear us again?
I still can't hear you. It's okay.
Aduh. How? Aduh. Hello, can
Yes, I could hear you for a second there.
you a second? Hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry for the little trouble. Okay, thank you so much for the tips because it was really nice. I mean, giving up is never really an option because, yeah, it doesn't take us anywhere. But here we want to ask you about the friendship there. Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
Like, how's life in UI? Are the people there friendly?
Yes, I think mostly they are friendly. I personally have not ventured outside of my faculty because I'm very introverted. So I don't have much experience outside of my faculty, only during orientation, which it was online. So I only met them through Zoom. I am mutuals with them on social media, but I think to the extent of our friendship or meeting up with people outside of my faculty of nursing, I don't really interact with people that much. But in my faculty alone in nursing, I have found many great friendships academically and non-academically. And I think having a close, tight-knit group of friends is a very important thing. And also will help you survive through college. I think it's I think it's kind of, you know, going through college alone is a hard thing, which I did experience a little bit during my first year of university because, you know, it's online. It's kind of hard to try to make friends, you know, through Zoom. So I didn't really know how to interact with somebody online. It was a bit awkward. So I didn't start having friends until I would say my third semester was when I actually tried to interact. And people are so nice. People are so open. Obviously there's going to be a competitive aspect to some friendships and to some people, but I think if you can filter out, you know, bad people from your life and uh, eliminate friendships that are toxic for you and limiting your growth, I think it's fairly easy to make friends in college or university.
Yeah, that's really nice, actually. Okay, maybe we're kind of a little bit nervous and also awkward here. We're so sorry for that.
No, you guys aren't nervous or awkward at all.
Really?
No, it doesn't show. It's fine if
Uh,
you're nervous. I mean, it's normal.
mhm. Also, since it's about college now, is it hard to manage time in college? Because, like, I've heard people say it's harder in college than in high school because you're basically free. You don't have like schedules or anything.
Yeah.
You live freely. Is it hard?
Yes. For me, it was hard in the beginning, but I got into a routine and a rhythm, I think I want to say during my fourth semester. Because back in my third semester, my first year of nursing, it was online. So it wasn't a matter of, oh, time management was kind of hard. It was online. So it felt easy, like taking online courses, and all you had to do was assignments. There weren't really events or organizations that you would go like non-academic route that was very time consuming or very hard work. And I didn't apply, or I wasn't a staff for any organization or any event or campaign. But starting my third semester, we started going to campus offline. It was hybrid learning, so online and offline. Um, Again, it wasn't difficult for me at first until my fourth semester, because that's when I started to have Sims Lab, or practical exams, going to the lab and practicing skills like inserting IVs or drawing blood, and, you know, having to communicate with a mock patient or a dummy. So my and then I started applying for organizations, and because I was in BEM, I was also in BMK, which is Bursa Mahasiswa Keperawatan, which is an entrepreneurial avenue for nursing students to be on the business side of nursing and kind of start their own startups, their own clinics, or make a home care possible. So I was in two organizations, and for me, time management was difficult, but I think finding your groove and finding what works for you is very important from the very start. So me personally, I like studying at night. So after Maghrib, around 6, I start studying. I start doing my assignments, and I start making progress on a lot of things, because in college and university, you get assigned a lot of homework, and there are a lot of things that you have to do in order to pass your course. And so I would, from 6, I would cap that to 10 o'clock, and I would go to sleep. I would not stay up until 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. A lot of people do pull all-nighters. In the beginning, I did do that, but it wasn't a healthy thing for me, because I knew that after 10 o'clock, I wasn't as productive as during the time frame that I set. Like from 6 to 10, I was very productive. I made a lot of progress on all of the assignments that I was assigned, and I did a lot of work during that. So that was also my academic and my non-academic time. I would usually in the morning from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Sometimes I would have Sims Labs, as I mentioned before, until 5 o'clock. I would be on campus, and I would learn theory, and I would learn practical exams. And then after that, so it'd be an hour. So from 5 to 6, I would have free time for myself, and I do a hobby, or like watch a movie or watch a series, or even scroll through my phone, message somebody, or I would read, which was something that was like really important for me. Was I had to de-stress and decompress and make sure that I had a coping strategy from all the stress that was going and circulating around. So the morning was designated for campus time. I would not do any schoolwork or any assignments. And then after I would get off of school, I would have that designated time as my free time. I would not do any schoolwork. I would not open a textbook. So I would manage it like that. And then 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock would be my coursework. Breaks in between, like 10, 20-minute breaks in between. And then after that, I would get ready for bed. And I would go to bed at 11 and spare a little reading time before then. But that was how I managed my time, and that worked out for me until now. So yeah, I'm a night owl.
Wow, that's great. So you kind of separate your like routines and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Also, we noticed that. Oh, sorry. Basically, we got a little event from UI. I forgot what the event was, but my friend wanted to talk about it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would just want to ask you that can you tell us your experience about, because I ever heard a lot of events that came from UI.
Yeah. Are there any events that are very meaningful or very like interesting maybe for other people?
Yes, actually, there is a UI event for high schoolers, high school students, to introduce the majors and the faculties. They usually hold it at Balairong. I forget the name of it as well. I think it's like UI Goes to Campus or something like that. There is an event that is open for high school students who are interested in attending UI. So I think if you do or are wanting to take a glimpse into UI and all the different majors, or okay, maybe I want to go to the health cluster, or I want to go to the science or the engineering cluster. Maybe you can talk to them, because there are students who are active in their own faculties who do have firsthand experience on how they got in, what life is like on campus, and what they see their future or taking their career as in the future. My faculty personally has a introduction. I think it's called Nursing Open House. Nursing Open House. And a lot of faculties actually at UI do have open houses where it's a specific faculty that will go to, that will open the campus or open their faculty so that high schoolers can actually join in on the experience of being, so it's like a day in a life of a campus student, but a specific major. So in Nursing Open House, there's a day in our life as a nursing student. So you guys can come with us and take a tour of the campus and the lab and see how we do practical, or OSCEs. We call it practical exams in the lab, where we talk and communicate with our patients, how we can insert an IV or draw blood, and all these other skills that we mastered during our nursing years. And we have this talk with different students who also have clubs in their faculty and stuff like that. And other faculties do have the same kind of program, most faculties through BEM, where they have open houses where you can actually apply and, also see other people who are also interested in the same major that you are in. Or if you just want to experience, oh, what's it like on campus? Or, oh, it's interesting. I've always wanted to go inside of a laboratorium and see how, they experiment, or how they see through a microscope and stuff like that. There are different events for that. And usually, I think for the UI campus event, for all faculties in the Balairong, it's usually before SNM or SBM. I think it's like in the beginning of the year, I believe. For Nursing Open House, or Open House, my faculty's open house, it's in, I believe, March, or like it's also in the beginning of the year. So towards the second semester or the second half of the semester. And then you guys can also see different faculties, and when they are having their open houses, they usually post the dates, when you can apply. And they also, or my faculty, the nursing open house, goes to different high schools to actually tell people about, what nurses do, what FICA is, what career prospects there is, and kind of get people interested in the program. So there are many programs. I'm sure you can find through a lot of resources. You can find is through the BEM, Badan Eksekutif Mahasiswa of each faculty. So BEM FIKA, BEM FK, FKG, FF, and just all the other ones.
Okay, that was really nice because our school goes to a lot of events. Maybe we would like to go to one of that too.
Yeah.
Maybe. Also, thank you so much for the very helpful tips because the both of us are still 10th graders, right?
Yes,
Yes. And so we're still kind of confused on how college works and other stuff, but since we already got tips from you, that is very amazing. I absolutely love the way you delivered it to us. It was very easy for me to
Yes,
for
it's clear.
the both of us. Yeah, it's very clear for us to understand. Now, maybe since we are done with our questions, we have Q&A sessions from the viewers. So we'll pick out some comments and then we'll read it out to you so you can answer them. Hold on a second. Maybe before we wait for the comment section to ask you the questions, I would like to have a little talk. A little fun fact: my parents actually went to UI before this, so I was a little surprised when I saw your status. Like, huh? You is the sorry, Universitas Indonesia student. I was like, oh, that's familiar, and then I was like, oh, that's where my parents went. So that's very
Interesting.
wow. I didn't expect that. And also, I've heard you mention architecture. Like, what gets you really interested in architecture? Because I have a friend that like is really interested in architecture, but then she doesn't really take it seriously, and I don't really get what architecture is. So maybe you
Okay.
could explain a little before we get the viewers to actually ask.
Yeah, of course. So architecture is basically the design and creative aspect of buildings or a structure. So if you see a house being built, there is a design process and a creative process to it that, starts from the ground up and also considers limitations and also pros and cons, weighing pros and cons of a good design. If this design is functional, if this design is limiting, how to let light in, how to decrease light, how to make a room that's small seem bigger, how to make a room that's super big not feel so big and echoey and just so distant with other people when you're in the same room. So that's what architecture is. Why I wanted to get into architecture or why I was interested in the first place was because I was fortunate enough to be able to travel when I was younger and to be able to see these different buildings and these, I think architecture from different countries and, with cultural influences is so interesting or was so interesting to me to see and to see the beauty and have a story etched inside of a building was really what drew me into architecture. Also, because I'm a bookworm, I was also inspired to want to be in architecture because one of my favorite book characters in a book, I don't know if you guys know Percy Jackson. There's a book
Percy
character.
Jackson.
You know? Yes.
Yeah, I didn't really actually read the book. I like the movies.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. So in the books, Annabeth, who's the girl main character in the trio,
Mhm.
is an aspiring architect. And I see a lot of my qualities in her of wanting to build things and just um, taking pride in beautiful things and just I see a lot of my
Wow.
qualities and characteristics in her. So I've been inspired by her to want to be an architect. I also had a friend in high school who had the same dream as me as well, but she actually ended up going to Binus University in Jakarta, and she is an architect right now. She actually just recently graduated, so uh,
Wow,
she
Priscilla.
really pursued that. And it's not just about the design and creative aspect. It's also helping other people because and being eco-conscious about the resources that you're using because architecture is a very I wouldn't say a limiting space, but it is a career that can kind of stop, which is why I also veered into nursing, which I think nursing can also evolve and develop with technology and is always needed. I was told that architecture wasn't always needed because there's only so much space you can work with and there's only so much you can design and improve on. So for me, I wanted something that would help me grow as well. So that's why I wanted to pursue something else other than architecture. So yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. Thank you so much for the insight. And hey, we shared some actual
Yeah.
something, a little connection between us. But here we
Yes.
want to actually open the Q&A section.
So the first we have a question from Carl. She asks, "How is your experience in University of Indonesia, and how do you get in?"
Okay. How'd I get in? The journey is very long and hard. Short version, I failed a lot of exams and I failed a lot of times, but through the support of my family and friends, I got in. Alhamdulillah. But the long version is I was told by my dad to actually research universities outside of Indonesia, which is why I initially said I wasn't so interested at first on wanting to go to UI or the University of Indonesia. So I did my research on a lot of European universities, specifically in Germany. And I did my research. I did a whole Google Docs spreadsheet and stuff like that. But I wasn't so set on wanting to go to Germany. And so during my senior year or during 12th grade, I searched for programs in Stanford, UCLA, USC, and UC Berkeley, which is in California, or LA, as a lot of people know, in San Francisco. I wanted to go there because when I was younger, I really wanted to go to Stanford. Stanford was my dream university, not UI, but maybe one day. But anyways, I didn't know that I had to prepare a lot of things like GSAT or SAT, and for architecture school, you had to have a portfolio. And I didn't know that, so I kind of discarded the idea of going there. But I was like, maybe one day, not now, but maybe one day. I did take a gap year. So in 2020, I failed. I had the opportunity for SNM. I didn't get in. For SBM, I also didn't get in. And Mandiri, I tried SIMAK and I also tried IPB, which was, I think, architecture landscaping. So instead of the building, it's the outside exterior. So like the plants and parks and outdoor areas that's landscaping architecture. I wanted that. I wanted to try that. But spoiler alert, I didn't get in. I took a gap year and I still studied and I was really bored during my gap year because, I was in COVID and social isolation, but I did have tutoring lessons. I did go to Inten, which is a LS or a tutoring place where they have consultations within, a couple of times you do take the mock exams or tryouts. And they told me your biology your biology and chemistry scores are really high, but my physics wasn't really high, which if you know about architecture, you need to have a high physics score because the main base foundation to study physics, to study architecture is physics. And I was not very proficient in it, and I hated physics. I loved biology and I loved chemistry growing up and in high school. So I kind of leaned towards to that, but I didn't want to become a scientist or a researcher. And so I looked at other different options of what I wanted, and I stumbled upon nursing. And then I was like, okay, I'll still pursue architecture, but I'll have nursing as my plan B. So during my SBM, I actually did get into nursing UIN, University Islam Negeri, I believe that's what it's called. UIN. I did get into nursing there, but I really wanted UI because that's when I during my gap year was when I really started to say, okay, if I'm not gonna go to my dream universities outside, what is a good university for me here that will help me achieve that dream? So I was like, okay, University of Indonesia seems like a really good option. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and a lot of people say good things about the programs there. So I pursued that. SIMAK UI, I also enrolled to that. SIMAK UI, I did architecture and I also did nursing. And alhamdulillah, I got into the nursing program at UI. So that's how I got my journey into getting into UI.
Okay, that was really
Really
cool,
cool.
right?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Next, we have a question from Miss Mana. Since I know you ever lived in California, can you give us a glimpse about education in there?
Okay. Yes. Hi, Mana. If you guys don't know, Mana is my high school friend who actually.
Oh,
So, hi, Mana. Glimpse about education. The reason why I wanted to pursue education in California, yeah, one of the reasons why was because I have lived in California before. I've had the opportunity and the chance to live there. So I know more about the education system over there than I knew here, which is why I wasn't so set on wanting to go to UI or wanting to go to university here in Indonesia. The education system there is very different. If you want to apply to university, you can apply to as many universities as you want to. So there's no limit. And I feel like in the States, I'm generalizing in America, it's more fluid and more developmental and curated to you as a person instead of you as your future career, if that makes sense. Because here in Indonesia, I've noticed that, okay, you're going to be a nurse. That's what you're going to be. You're going to be a nurse, nurse. But you don't have the tools that will help you develop soft skills or other skills that will help you, go further on in life. While I think in the States or in America, they give you those tools and they actually facilitate it. So if you are somebody who doesn't have a clear set or clear mind of what university you want to go to, or specifically what major, like you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, you don't know if you want to be a doctor, you don't know if you're going to be a pharmacist or you're going to be in public health and whatever, you can actually go to college or university and have an undecided major, which means that you are not somebody who has a set career point, but you can still take different courses from different faculties and different majors to see, oh, what fits me or what works with me. And if you do major in something, you can major in many things. So in America, there are things of multiple majors. So you can be a nurse, you can also be in public health, and you can also have a bio degree, bioscience degree. So you can have majors and minors. And some people go up until 4 degrees, which is crazy and mind blowing because the academic system actually helps them, propel them, and helps facilitate, okay, your credits, these are how many credits you need, and these are the courses that you can take. You can take this one off, you don't really need this one, like it'll be curated just for you. But here in Indonesia that I've noticed is that, okay, I want to be a nurse, but to be a different major or to have another major to help me become a nurse, say I want to be a pediatric nurse or a nurse for children, I want another degree, or I want another major to help me kind of facilitate me wanting to be a pediatric nurse. So a major like psychology for kids. I could take that, but in Indonesia you can't take that because they're two different degrees. So you can only have one degree unless you want to take a different degree in your master's. But in America, the education system is kind of different, where it is curated for you. So that was one of another point that I wanted, or a reason why I wanted to go outside of Indonesia.
Okay, thank you for the answer. We have another one and the last one.
Yes.
Okay.
This is from Kanai Riani, and she asked about what fun activities are usually held at universities of Indonesia.
Fun activities. Fun activities. My definition of fun activities will probably differ from other people. I think different faculties have different extracurricular activities or different activities. My definition of fun is staying at my kosan and just reading. But other people's is joining organizations or events, which I did do that as my coping strategy to help me decompress and de-stress from college or academic life. There are events where you can develop your soft skills. There are events where you can just network with people. Fun activities. Usually, well, this could probably be fun, but there is a program in UI called UI Buddies, which can connect you with international students. So students or exchange students that go into the University of Indonesia, you can become their mentor. So you can just tour around the campus and you can show them around, and I know, build networking and socializing with people. Some people, another fun activity for me at UI was going to a futsal club because I love sports. I'm a very sporty person, and so I, joined the futsal club because I wanted to, pursue sports. I love activities or physical activities, and I love exercise. So, that was fun for me. There is an event called Parade UI, which is this huge parade where you're showing your support and contributing to your faculty by cheering on your athletes, your faculty athletes. So there are different sports within UI, like badminton, there's tennis, there's field hockey, there's futsal, there's football, and many more. And so Parade UI is this event where, leading up to the Olympic UI, so UI Olympics, we have UI Olympics. So that's a really fun activity to kind of participate in, where you're just kind of seeing other people with their chants and other people showing pride for their faculty. And yeah, those are some fun activities that are at UI. I'm sure different faculties have different events and different versions and ideas of fun activities. So there is that. But my faculty is a little bit more reserved. And we're not all out. We don't have parties, or we don't really have a band in the middle of the field or in the canteen or stuff like that. But I know other faculties do have that. So when you do your research of different majors and faculties, you can also see or glimpse a little bit into that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for answering the questions. Since that is the last one, we will close. Thank you,
Kak
Farah, and thank you all very much for watching this Weekend English Talk.
Hopefully, everything that has been said is useful, and we're also sorry if there are any mistakes in our words.
And lastly, don't forget to watch another Weekend English Talk video next week. See you guys. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for the host, Askia and Aira, for having me, and Weekend English Talk for having me. Thank you, Mana, for inviting me, and to the viewers who have watched me up all this past hour.
Thank you for your insights. It was very helpful, actually. It was really nice talking to you, too. You're a very interesting person and very inspiring.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So.